What's going on, guys? Your boy here at TheTCPLive, giving my Week 9 NFL 2012 predictions. And, did pretty good, not too bad last week with predictions. I believe I got 9 games right, and out of, I think it was like 12. So, 9-3, that's not too bad. So let's get this started, shall we? We got the Thursday night game. Battle of the NFC West, the Chargers versus Chiefs. This game with San Diego. Honestly, the Chargers right now I think are in a mess. I don't know what's up with the Chargers. They just seem like to be a team that on paper they just look good and they got so much talent there, but they just can't, finish games. They can't, do it at the end. I don't know why, but however, as much as the Chargers are, kind of inconsistent right now, the Chiefs are one of the worst teams in the National Football League, and they're getting Mr. Turnover, as I like to call him, former Patriot great quarterback Matt Castle back. Brady Quinn's going to be out for the game, so and last time when the Chargers took on the Chiefs just, oh my, how many turns did the Chiefs have? Like 5 or 6? It was ridiculous, but I'm going to go with the Chargers on this one, so we pick the Chargers. Next, you get the Denver Broncos at Cincinnati. Now, I'm not one of those people that is jumping on the Denver Broncos bandwagon saying, oh, they're going to go 12-4, or they're going to go 13-3, or they're going to win. They're not going to lose a game ever again. And I'm not going to go that far because that's kind of like really. But I do think the Broncos will win this game. Andy Dalton, I think, is one of those quarterbacks that he's not going to be kind of like a great quarterback. I just think he's going to be an average quarterback, like a good quarterback, like all right, but. So the Broncos, they look good on Sunday night. They just killed the Saints, really. And, Peyton Manning's looking good. Team's looking good. And the Bengals, other than A.J. Green and Andy Dalton, what does this team really have? It's kind of a question mark. But I'm going with the Broncos. I just got the Ravens taking on the Browns. Interesting enough, last time these two faced each other was in Baltimore. And, Browns almost came back and won that game, surprisingly. And, that's the thing with the Browns. Yeah, they may be 2-6, but, they're one of those teams that even though they basically they kept all their games really close. Even the games they've lost, they kept it close. And they haven't really been blown out. And the Ravens, they're banged up. They come off a bye week. But, I do still expect the Ravens to win. I could see, Ray Rice kind of having a big game on this one. Ray Rice usually does well against the Browns, so I'm going to go with the Ravens. Next, got the Cardinals and Packers. Cardinals start off 4-0. They've lost 4 straight. And, I was kind of one of those people that was kind of a little bit on the Cardinals bandwagon. I was like, oh, maybe this Cardinals team could be good. But they did not look good against the 49ers last night. Granted, it was the 49ers, but still. And the Packers, Jordan Nelson might not play. Greg Jennings is going to be out, but I still like the Packers in this one just because, first of all, it's at Lambeau Field, hard place to play if you're the opponent. And, the Cardinals, I don't know what they have other than, somewhat of their defense. Their offense is not clicking. John Skelton is not, and everyone's blaming John Skelton. Honestly, it's not just John Skelton's fault. It's the offensive line. That's why, they're having so hard in the rushing game and the passing game. It's kind of hard to score when your offensive line can't even hold for 2 seconds without your quarterback, being pressured. So. But I'm going to go with the Packers. Next, you got the Bears taking on the Titans. Titans, I picked them last week, and, they got a tough game. They had a tough game against the Colts. They lost in overtime. The Bears, they almost lost to the Panthers there. Woo. It's kind of a nail-biter. But, excuse me. But the Bears and Titans, the Bears, they're just a good defensive team, plain and simple. I know, what was it, Mike and Mike, Mike Greeny is like, oh, I'd rather have the Bears than the 49ers now. And I sat there going, dude, you're an idiot, right? Freaking Jay Cutler will be on his ass every second, freaking the offensive line for the Bears. But, still the Bears are a good team. And, Titans, they still have a problem with tackling. I don't know what's going on with them. I'll pick Bears. Next you have the Dolphins and Colts. The Dolphins are actually surprising me, They beat the Jets last week, basically without Ryan Tannehill because he got injured. Matt Moore's a decent quarterback. And no one's really talking. I know Robert Griffin III's having a great year, but Andrew Luck's not having a bad year either. Not people talk about it. Remember, he was a first-round pick. That's number 1 pick, excuse me. But, this should be a good game. I wouldn't be surprised if the Dolphins sneak one in here. But you know, upset alert, possibly. But as of now, I'm gonna go with the Colts. You know, it just seems like that team's just on a roll. Everything's gelling well for them, and I'm honestly one of those people that thought, you know, hey, you know, without Peyton Manning, this team's just gonna suck. But they've actually done pretty well for themselves, so I'm gonna go with the Colts. They got the Panthers and the Redskins. Interesting matchup. You know, I really look forward to this just mainly because Cam Newton versus RG3. You know, Cam Newton everyone loved him last year. This year he kind of struggling, even though he had a pretty good game last week against a good Bear defense. RG3, you know, obviously having a great year. So you know, both these teams' defenses are kind of bad, but I'm gonna go with the Redskins. You know, I think RG3 could have a really big game against the Panthers defense, so I'm going to go with RG3 and the Redskins. Next up, the Lions and the Jaguars. Lions surprised me last week. That's another one. You know, I expected the Seahawks, good defensive team, but I think the Seahawks are just one of those teams that they're good at home, but on the road they're kind of But you know, Jacksonville. It's funny too because I think today one of the Jacksonville Jaguars traded one of their, I think it was like number 3 or number 4 wide receivers to the Lions, But anyway, you know, I thought with this team, you know, losing Nate Burleson for the season, you know, it's like, oh, what do they have now? You know, Calvin Johnson's getting triple team. He's not really doing much, triple covered. But, you know, Titus Young is doing pretty good for them. So I'm gonna go with the Lions. Next you got the Bills and Texans. Excuse me. Bills. Oh God, this team is just bad defensively. Oh my God. Yeah. And it's interesting, you know, of course, Mario Williams facing his former team. You know, that should be interesting. But the Texans, let's face it, you know, to me, I think they're the best team in the AFC. You know, the Ravens probably number 2, and you got the Patriots 3, Broncos, whatever. But yeah, Texans to me are the number 1 team in the AFC, plain and simple. So I'm going with the Texans. Let's get the Buccaneers taking on the Raiders. Buccaneers, another team that surprised me last week. You know, they did pretty well against the Vikings team. That's not too bad. Raiders, yeah, they're the Raiders, plain and simple. But I'm going to go with the Buccaneers just because, you know, Josh Freeman, he's on a roll right now, and I think it continues against not that good Raiders passing defense. So I'm going with the Buccaneers. Next you got the Vikings taking on the Seahawks. Seahawks, like I said, they're undefeated at home. Vikings, I think they're kind of in a little dry spell right now. So I think this could be one of those, you know, games where Christian Ponder doesn't look all that good. So I'm going to go with the Seahawks. Next, you got the, however, if it wasn't Minnesota, I'd probably go with the Vikings. The Steelers versus the Giants. This is the Sunday night game. Actually, no, it's not Sunday night. Excuse me, this is a Sunday afternoon game. Sorry. Steelers and Giants. It should be interesting, of course. You know, good matchup. You know, Big Ben versus, you know, Eli Manning. But you know, I think right now the Giants, they're just on the roll right now. And I really thought the NFC East, along with a lot of people, that they were going to be the best, you know, division in all of the, you know, NFL. You know, but you know, right now it seems like the Giants are kind of running away with this. It's still early, but you know, they got a good commanding lead to that division. So I'm going to go with the Giants. And also Steelers, they just have way too many injuries. Cowboys and Falcons. This is the Sunday night game. All right, so Tony Romo. My God, how many turnovers did you have last week against the Giants? Against Matt Ryan and the Falcons, who looked really good against the Eagles. But I'm gonna go with the Falcons just because, again, you know, they're undefeated. You know, they're at home. You know, Cowboys, I think they're a mess right now, I think, honestly. So, you know, with the Falcons, and last but not least, the Monday Night Football game. You know, Philadelphia Eagles versus the New Orleans Saints. You know, both these teams coming off losses last week. Eagles, and everyone's like, oh, should they bench Michael Vick? Should they bench Michael Vick? Honestly, no. They got the best chance they have. You know, it's kind of like the whole Mark Sanchez situation, kind of. And even though I'd rather have Michael Vick than Mark Sanchez any day of the week. But, you know, both quarterbacks give you a best chance to win. You know, Tim Tebow for the Jets is not going to have your best chance to win. Nick Foles, the rookie for the Eagles, is not your best chance of winning. Alright, plain and simple. Charlie Sheen said it best, winning. You know, it's in New Orleans. I know the Saints team, they're having a bad year. But honestly, you know, the Eagles defense, they haven't been that good either. And Drew Brees, I trust Drew Brees more than Michael Vick right now. So I'm going to go with the Saints. And that's about it, guys. That's my Week 9 NFL prediction. Comment down below predictions if you want. And video responses are always welcome. So anyway, catch y'all later. Peace.